Thank you for listening to this chapter. For advance releases of upcoming chapters, you can join me on Patreon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chapters, and kindly support this channel on Ko-fi. The link is in the description below. A Lady's Tranquility. Story of Kunning Palace. Author, Shi Jing. Chapter 71. Heavenly Sect. Whenever there were important events in the court and decrees from the prefecture, in order to inform all the government offices, they were printed and distributed in court bulletins, which were delivered to the officials every few days. In the past, Ning would sit in this side hall to meditate, and Shi Wei would often handle official documents there. But he had always been a cautious person. He would take away as many things as he brought with him, and he would never be so careless as to miss out this page of the official report. Did he put it here on purpose for her to see? Ning couldn't figure it out any further. After the young eunuch passed through the door, she read the page of the court report carefully twice, before walking to the desk, gently picked up the green jade paperweight on it, and pressed the page of the court report together with other used or unused pages. She left the palace the next day. Although many things have happened in the palace in recent days, and even Princess Liang was still under house arrest, the companions have finally waited for the day to take a break and go home. Most of them were young, so despite their low moods, they managed to show some rare smiles. You Yue was even happier. She had learned a lot about official and private salt from Xiao Shu and Chen Shui these days, and she felt that there was a lot of profit to be made from it. Before entering the palace, she accidentally got secret information from that scumbag Yofang Inn, and had ordered people to look for Renwager in the capital, and check the truth of the matter. 10 days have passed now. Yu believed that when she returned home, there would most likely be some surprising good news waiting for her. I have to say goodbye to all my sisters again. I didn't expect that 10 days in the palace would be so short. I feel reluctant to say goodbye to you all. Although she said so, Yo-Yer's eyes and eyebrows were full of smiles. I just hope that these 2 days of rest will pass quickly, so that I can return to the palace soon, accompany Her Royal Highness the Princess in her studies, and reunite with all of you. Almost no one had packed their luggage. Firstly, it was just a temporary rest for 2 days. And secondly, after Jiang Xuanning almost got into trouble because of a piece of paper, everyone dared not bring anything with them when entering or leaving the palace, so they traveled light. Early in the morning, they headed toward Shunzhen Gate. Everyone had different expressions, and basically no one responded to Yo-Yer's words. Yao Rongrong, however, frowned and sighed worriedly. I'm not afraid of being laughed at by my sisters. I'm timid, and things in the palace are really frightening. I thought the lives of the nobles were satisfactory, but I didn't expect it to be frightening. Alas, even people of such noble status as Her Royal Highness the Princess and His Royal Highness the Prince of Lingji would be punished. As she spoke, her voice became smaller, as if afraid of being heard by others. Jiang Xuning was walking not far from her. Upon hearing this, she couldn't help but glance at her. She tried her best to recall, but she only remembered that this timid and mute Yao Rongrong seemed to have entered the palace in her previous life. But she was not only not favored, but also bullied. If she was really afraid of the frightening days in the palace, why would she enter the palace? When she thought of this, her gaze turned to Xiao Shu, the woman who almost became the ultimate winner of the palace fights in her past life. As usual, she was dressed in luxurious clothes, with a dignified demeanor, appearing calm and steady, with the kind of aura that only a noble family could cultivate. Jiang Xuning clearly remembered that in her previous life, she was determined to rise above others and be the empress. So, she abandoned Yanlin, snatched Jiang Suhui's marriage, and took great pains to marry Shen Jie. Although the whole process was difficult, there were no real dangers or obstacles. In this life, her interactions with Shen Jie had become less frequent, but She has encountered traps and dangers that she had never encountered in her previous life. Was it because she had changed in this life, causing the person who secretly framed her to feel threatened, so she framed her? Or was there such a frame-up in her previous life but she didn't know about it for some reason? Or was it because of some coincidence that the other party failed to frame her? Xiao Shu said calmly. Her Royal Highness the Princess and His Royal Highness the Prince of Lindsay are both nobles. It was only the Empress Dowager and the Emperor who punished them in a fit of rage. How can they be compared with others? Yao Rongrong fell silent immediately. Jiang Xuening suddenly changed her mind, and she deliberately smiled, adding, Miss Xiao, what you said is very true. Not to mention their noble status as descendants of the royal family, the punishment is just to make them think it over, and it will not be serious. Even if they are really confined to their homes and made to kneel for a few days, Her Royal Highness the Princess might feel depressed, but His Royal Highness the Prince of Linji may not. It's almost the winter solstice, and it's a good time to hide in the mansion and paint the picture of the cold winter. His Royal Highness may be very happy to have a few days of leisure. Xiao Shu was originally walking calmly in front, but when she heard the 3 words, the picture of the cold winter, her steps suddenly stopped. She couldn't help but look back at Jiang Xuening and smiled. Miss Jiang, you certainly know a lot. Although Shen Jie was the Prince of Lingji and was later made the Crown Prince, he was not very keen on political affairs, had a gentle temperament, and always preferred to play with words. He had a little-known hobby, which was to paint pictures of the cold winter in the winter months. She only found out about this after she married Shen Jie in her previous life, but it was difficult for ordinary people to know it so clearly. Unexpectedly, Xiao Shu also seemed to know it as well. You know, at that time, Shen Jie had not yet been appointed as the crown prince. Moreover, it was only said that Xiao Shu and Shen Jiyi were close, but it was never said that Xiao Shu and Shen Jie were also very familiar with each other. Thinking of this, Jiang Xuenin sneered in her heart, but her face was gentle, and she curled the corners of her lips, as if she didn't quite understand what Xiao Shu meant. Xiao Shu didn't say anything else. After a while, the palace gate was right in front of them, and the carriages and sedan chairs from various mansions were waiting outside. Tanger and Lianer hadn't seen their mistress for 10 days. Both of them were waiting in front of the carriage. Jiang Xuenin came out of the palace gate and was startled when she saw the 2 of them. The 2 girls were already wearing warm and thick padded jackets, with their hair and accessories neatly arranged. They looked fair-skinned, rosy-cheeked, with happy smiles on their faces, and they waved with joy when they saw her. "Second miss, are you tired from studying in the palace? We've missed you so much, after not seeing you for a long time." God knows how comfortable these 2 maids lived without Jiang Xuenin in the mansion. They would collect their monthly salary as usual, without having to serve anyone, and they didn't have to worry about the girl quarreling with the madam and the eldest daughter. At the beginning, they were not used to such a relaxed and leisurely life, but after 3 days, they got used to it. They felt really healthy, and everything tasted delicious. Their waists were no longer sore, their legs no longer hurt, and their hair no longer fell out in clumps. Just a question? Was there anything in the world that could be more joyful than serving a girl who entered the palace as a study companion? That's why Lianier and Tangyer were so happy to see Jiang Xuening now, because they only needed to serve her for 2 days, and soon they would have another 10-day long vacation, and this situation could last for a full 6 months. It was so touching. One of them came up to help her get into the carriage, while the other attentively and carefully served her tea. Jiang Xuenin was a little confused at first, but after sitting down and thinking about it carefully, she understood the situation. Tanger was fine. She was a little more reserved and steady, and it wasn't so obvious. But Leonor's eyes were almost narrowed into crescents, and the word happy was almost written on her face. She couldn't help but laugh along. She teased them deliberately and said, "Are you so happy to see your young lady back? It seems you've been missing her too much. How about I tell Her Royal Highness the Princess that I won't accompany her in studies any more? I'll stay at home every day and you won't have to nag me." Tanger. Leonir. "Ah, no, it's such a good opportunity to come to the palace to accompany Her Royal Highness in her studies." After she said that, she met Jiang Xuenin's half-smile. The back of her head suddenly shuddered, and she reacted. She quickly covered her mouth, with an aggrieved expression on her face. Jiang Xuening leaned on the pillow in the car, looking at the joy, anger, sorrow, and happiness all written on their faces. Only then did she feel a long-lost sense of relaxation. The breeze blew up the car curtains. She looked in that corner, and when the driver whipped the horse and swung the reins to turn the carriage in another direction, the majestic Forbidden City stood in the thick and condensed morning mist, just passing by the narrow corner in front of her window and gradually disappeared. This brief, peaceful period of companionship had finally come to an end. On the way back to Jiang Mansion, Jiang Xuening asked about the recent situation in the mansion. The maids, Leonor and Tanger, enjoyed themselves and had a leisurely life, but they also found out everything they needed to know. When Jiang Xuening asked, they recounted every single detail to her. As soon as she entered the palace, everyone in the mansion was smiling, especially the servants who had been oppressed and bullied by her. They were all as happy as if it were New Year's Day. Madame Meng also had a rare chance to enjoy a comfortable life. Jiang Xuhui received invitations from some daughters of noble families. She listened to the zither, admired the flowers, and wrote poems as usual. Apart from being approached by several wealthy families in the capital regarding marriage prospects, there was no difference from the past. Jiang Xuening just listened, lifted the car curtain and looked outside, and saw that the pedestrians on the street were all walking in a hurry, as if they wanted to bury their heads in the ground, as if they were afraid of attracting something. You know, the capital is a prosperous place. How could it be so deserted? The mansion of Marquis Yongyi was magnificent. It was built near the Suzaku Gate, with pavilions, terraces, and high walls that stretched across half the street. The Jiang family's carriage would also pass by the end of this street on its way back home. However, at this moment, what she saw was soldiers lined up, guarding the streets. Each of them was wearing heavy armor, holding swords and spears, with serious faces, and pairs of hawk-like eyes scanning the passers-by. As soon as the Jiang mansion's carriage passed by, someone stared at it closely. It was not until he saw the Jiang family crest on the carriage and recognized their origin that he withdrew his gaze and did not stop them immediately. Jiang Xuening remained silent. Seeing her expression, Tanger lowered her voice carefully and said, "A few days ago, a large number of troops suddenly surrounded the Yongyi Marquise's residence. We in the Jiang mansion were shocked when we received the news, and the master even got up at night to send people to inquire about the situation. However, everyone said that this incident was very serious, and there have been many vagrants and ruffians roaming around in the capital recently. They secretly posted notices at the city gates and the doors of shops at night, all of which contained words of treason. The Shentian prefecture and the embroidered uniform guards were dispatched, arresting people everywhere, and the jails are full. It is said that they were all followers of the Heavenly Sect." Heavenly Sect. It was said that this sect had existed for several decades. In the beginning, it was similar to Buddhism and Taoism, but later on it absorbed many refugees and wanderers. There were many poor and shabby people in the underworld who joined the religion. They used heaven as their title, worshipped the leader, and followed the leader's orders in all their actions. 20 years ago, the Prince of Pingnan rebelled in alliance with the Heavenly Sect. But later, when the Prince of Pingnan was defeated, this mysterious leader retreated from the capital, and the power of the Heavenly Sect was greatly reduced under the encirclement and suppression by the imperial court. However, the Heavenly Sect was very widespread, and there were two people with extraordinary wisdom around its leader. One was older and was called Master Gong Yi by everyone. The other appears less often and is only called Dujin Mountain Hermit. Although few people had seen them, they were often able to anticipate their enemies' actions. Although the imperial court was powerful and had strong military forces, it was often one step behind. Moreover, most of the members of the heavenly sect were ordinary people, and their temples were well hidden, so it was always difficult to eradicate the heavenly sect. In recent years, the imperial court had slowed down its actions, and the heavenly sect had begun to operate in the Jiangnan region far away from the capital and develop its influence. Were they making a comeback now? Jiang Suining only knew that she had been attacked by members of the heavenly sect several times in her previous life, and that Shui Wei later almost completely uprooted the entire heavenly sect. However, she knew very little about this mysterious sect, and had no idea what they were trying to do now. She only knew that something bad was about to happen at the Yongyi Marquise's mansion. The sudden appearance of the heavenly sect forces in the capital was definitely not a good thing. She was afraid that it would be used by those with ulterior motives to make trouble. She raised her hand and pressed her temple, feeling a tight, painful tension. She asked, "Is my father at home?" Tangir said carefully, "Yes, he knew the young lady would return from the palace today, so he's been waiting for you to come back to talk to you." Jiang Suining nodded. "I'll go and pay my respects to my father when I get back. You go and help me find out the news about the Qingwan Earl's mansion, especially Yo Fangyin." Thank you for listening to this chapter. For advance releases of upcoming chapters, you can join me on Patreon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chapters. And kindly support this channel on Ko-Fi. The link is in the description below.